welcome to another episode of the Wine and Chisme podcast. That was exactly what I was thinking. So thank you for doing that for me because legit, that was what I was thinking. I have my girl Erika with me. How are you, Erika?
Hola, hola, Jessica. I'm doing good.
I'm so sad. I feel like I need to see you more often.
Oh
Like
my
if
God, it's so funny because I was pouring. I have a glass of wine,
Yes, I'm so proud of you.
and I was like, "Ah, we need to do this monthly episode like in person. We got to
I
figure this
know.
out."
I know.
I was literally thinking about that as I was pouring the wine.
Girl, and soon I will have my global entry that comes with TSA pre-check.
Mm,
And do you know? So this month, but you guys, it's the last Wednesday of the month. We know we're just throwing out the chisme, right? Our chisme, celebrity chisme, whatever, things. But when I told my husband, because I scheduled it for December, but I was having all these issues from Texas when I lived there, as
hmm.
far as tickets I didn't know I had from like literally 15 years ago, right?
Oh God.
That I couldn't renew my license. So finally got them done. And so I couldn't do my original global entry thing in December. So then I scheduled it for technically this morning, but then I realized the one that I scheduled it for is out of Calexico, which is 2 hours away.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening. So instead, I was able to get on and reschedule it. So I'm actually going to probably go to my parents' house because it is north. But
Right.
it's at one of the airports. But at least then like I can me and the dogs, because my husband will have to work because it's during the week, can go to my mom, spend the night. I can go do that, come back, spend the rest of the day with my parents because there'll be for sure traffic coming back down to San Diego.
Oh yeah.
And then leave and come back home that night. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I can't wait. And I am just like, I'm just so ready. I'm just so ready to get to get out of here again. It's been a minute. My last like trip was New York. And I'm having,
Really? Okay.
yes. So I'm having and my next trip will be to Mexico to go to Cabo San Lucas for my sister's wedding.
Right.
But outside of that, and now I'm like, okay, what are the next things that we're going to do? Because I am going stir crazy.
I I want to travel too. Like I feel like I need to get out of my everyday environment and like go do something, see something new. But we'll see.
We're right now, I'm just jealous of our friend Ellie, who is living
Oh,
her best life, going all over the place,
she
DR,
sure is.
Miami. Now I think she's in Puerto Rico. And I'm like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to plan a trip. I'm trying to plan a trip for the summer with my oldest niece Braylon and my mom
That'd be nice.
to Europe. So that's kind of halfway done.
Well, okay. So
I just
speaking of,
have to get all the planning to the finish line and like purchase stuff
right. Well,
because it's
speaking of,
already like April,
where are you
basically.
gonna go?
Where we want to go to Italy, Spain, and France.
Remember, so you remember when I took my oldest nephew to New York? That was
Yeah.
his graduation present. So my next nephew, the second oldest, is going to be graduating at the beginning of June, the first week of June.
Mm,
And so I need to start planning his trip. And he said he wants to go to Italy.
okay.
So what I told him is we have to do it off season, like towards the end of season,
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
season. So probably wasn't going to be during the summer, but we'll do it. Like, and he's like, okay. So that's the next thing I need to start doing.
Right.
And then obviously, if I like do some recordings and do some wine stuff and whatever, I can I can create content and I can do podcasts, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
Evan will be able to drink. So we'll see. He's 18, right? And
Oh, right,
yeah,
right.
he's 18. So um it'd be kind of cool. Like if if I get to show him a little bit about wine and so see
Right.
what he thinks. So
Yeah.
that's the but we're here to talk about the chisme. I know we wrote some things down. Throw some other things in here if you
We
would
always
like.
digress.
We
Like that's
always do.
just
We put like
that's our personality.
we usually do like we put anywhere from 5 to 7 things that we can talk about, and then we end up talking about like 2 or 3. But before we get into the chisme and just dive into that, we always we start with wine. So what I'm so proud of you, Erika. You have a glass of wine today. She's the only
I
person I
do, I
make fun of
do.
because she always has an excuse.
The last time was a good one. I had to run errands.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Okay.
in the suburbs, so I have to drive.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So what are you drinking today, Erika?
I am drinking a Chardonnay. It's a healthy pour of Chardonnay. I
There's
feel like
nothing
I
wrong
need
with
it.
that. What is it? What kind is it?
It's yellowtail.
Ah,
Nothing spectacular.
but you know what? It works. And if you like it, that's all that matters. So I'm having my last glass of my 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon from Ondrama Cellars, who we
Mm.
love. And I poured myself the healthy pour too. So salud, girl, salud.
Salute, salute, salute. Honestly, what I wanted to open was the Pinotage. I have one bottle left.
Mm.
And then I'm like, oh no, but I want to save it. I want to save it. I don't know what I want to save it for.
I don't know if I have any left. I don't know if I have any Pinotage left or if that is gone.
Yeah, I have one bottle that I'm holding on to.
Yeah. Well, I want to start with something that I didn't put on here, and the only reason is because we were going to talk about the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing from a comms perspective.
Hmm.
I just feel like I'm so like burned out of that story
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I I'm burned out too. Like I feel like at this point it's hard to follow. There's so many moving pieces. There's so much he said, she said, and
There's so many
then
lawsuits out there now.
it seems like a lot, and I'm not sure. Like I'm even lost in like dissecting
Yeah.
where
And
we
I've
are. So I'm not even sure where we are in this process.
girl is a lot. And I will say this. I have seen a lot of stuff on it, right? I've seen so many videos, I've seen so many breakdowns, there's like so many lawsuits out there right now in regards to everything that's going on. Um, Ryan Reynolds has requested to be dropped from the lawsuit. Like there's just a lot going on there. My thing is, and here's the thing, yeah, you can look at all of these things, and I've been a Justin Baldoni fan since Jane the Virgin.
Hmm.
And I will say, I hope that he didn't do these things that are alleged, right?
Right.
Um, but ultimately, like, we don't know what happened. We're never really gonna
We're
know
never
what
gonna
happened.
know.
We're never really gonna know what happened during that time. However, I have noticed like like people are so hardcore in regards to how they feel about each person. Now, I've seen all of these
Hmm.
things. I'm not going to lie. I've not ever seen anything like negative as far as people who've worked with Justin Baldoni, or I think I saw a couple
Right.
of like 1 or 2 things of like people that worked at his company at Wayfair that were just like, he's too positive. He has toxic positivity. And I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Can we touch on that for a second?
Yeah.
What is positive? Was it positive toxicity?
Okay. I will tell you that sometimes I can be like, I have experienced toxic positivity from myself when I cannot face what's going on, even if it's, and I'm like, no, it's not going to go bad. No, it's not going to go bad. It's going to be fine. It's going to, but, but always like, no, it's good. It's going to be fine. It's like, like just with this.
Right.
And maybe like no matter how bad things, and but I feel like for me that I have
Mm-hmm.
to do that because
Right.
I don't want to sink to it all starts in your mind. It all starts with
Yeah.
mindset. So I guess there's been times where I feel like, oh, maybe like I'm too positive, and I guess that would be I don't know exactly
Mm-hmm.
what toxic positivity is. Like you're
Right.
just so positive that people like people don't think that you're
Mm-hmm.
positive. I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly.
I I get that, like, I guess it comes off as disingenuous,
I
but
guess.
but I have to like ask too, like, is it part of our cynicism? Like, are we so like cynical and dismissive of positive people that it's like, oh my God, that's fake.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
So this is okay. So this is what people say. Okay. I just Googled it and AI, this is what it says. Toxic positivity refers to the practice of dismissing or invalidating negative emotions and experiences by forcing a positive outlook, often harmful or in an often harmful or unrealistic way. And it gives some like it could be worse. Don't worry, be happy. Just look on the bright side or brush it off. Don't dwell on the negative. Everything happens for a reason. You should be grateful. Stay positive. Don't let it get to you. So those are like just think positive thoughts. It's not bad. It could have been worse. So that's
mm,
what it's saying toxic positivity is. And I guess it can be if somebody's really not in a space to be able to get like if you're really in a bad place, you just sometimes need to be in that place for a minute.
right.
And sometimes just saying, "Oh, it's going to be fine," right? Can I guess can
Mm-hmm.
make somebody feel even worse, like
Right.
you don't know what I'm experiencing. So I don't know. Like when it comes to that, but again, I think those are all subjective as well.
Mm-hmm. I know,
Because
now I'm thinking about it because I'm like,
right,
I'm the queen of it could be worse, it could be worse,
yeah,
or everything
same.
happens for a reason.
But I do think a lot of it is. So I don't know, but that's all I've heard on in regards to his side, and then obviously her side. Like even during the whole press, uh, the junkets and everything, like he always he never disparaged Blake,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of things not beyond this movie where people online were like pulling things, a lot of bad things she'd said, disparaging her coworkers. Like there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So when you look at it like from that perspective, right?
Right.
It does look like it could have this is something that Blake could have done, but we don't know honestly. And I'm not going to bash on anybody because again, we will never
We don't
know
know. Yep.
all of the information, right? Obviously Justin's attorney has put out a ton of stuff, put out a whole website, but those two are the only ones who are ever going to really know what
Mm-hmm.
truly really happened. I don't see like what she put on. There's been so many things to like offset the things that she was claiming. So I hope
Right.
that he's not like he isn't some like slimy dude and everything. But again, we'll never know. We don't know. And that's kind of all until more stuff really comes out. That's kind of all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of just where it is now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of like people trolling and finding things on social media and putting things together, right? First, we know, I think everybody knows that Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco are engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to them. They look very happy. Um, and there has been a lot of stuff, and it has been for years, but somebody recently put together this YouTube video, and then it got chopped into 7 pieces, and then it's on TikTok. I'm sure it's on Instagram about this Hailey Bieber situation,
Oh my
right?
God. I came across that while I was doom scrolling the other day.
Right. And it's like, okay, I am just, these people are younger than us, obviously, but they're
Yes.
still in the zeitgeist, right? Everybody kind of knows. Maybe people don't know what's going on with the Hailey Bieber thing, but they definitely know that Selena and Benny Blanco are engaged. And let me first say, good for them, good for her. They seem very, very happy.
Hmm.
Um, I know she went through a lot, not only with Justin Bieber when she was dating him, when she was dating The Weeknd after that.
Right.
Then he comes out with this HBO show that's supposed to be about his relationship with her. Because then she got back together with Justin Bieber after she had her kidney transplant. And then they broke up. And then a few months later, Justin Bieber marries Hailey Bieber. And this, like, it's so crazy because who would you I don't even I know people like equate it to like the Britney and Justin thing, but I was
Hmm.
never really and this is somebody I love pop culture. I love pop culture. I love all of those things. But I don't do you get super super invested in celebrity couples?
I used to. I used to get invested. Now I just I feel like we're overstimulated that I have a hard time like keeping my attention into like who's dating who's married, who's divorced, who's having babies. There's just an oversaturation, but I feel like in years before, I won't say how many years before, but like like we didn't have social media and all this stuff, so we had just like the gossip shows and the
What
gossip
they would share with
magazines
us,
and
like
like what
talk
they would
shows.
share, yeah. um but yeah, no, I was all for it.
Same. I was
I still
super
am. There's just too much information for
Yeah,
me to
okay. I
follow.
was about to say, like, I pay attention and but like, there's all these influencers that literally make their whole thing based, like, make their whole living based on this. And I'm here going, hey, we're trying to highlight, BIPOC communities. Why are you paying attention over here? But I do still get invested. We're not invested. It's very, uh, from an outsider's
Hmm. Well,
perspective.
I always justify it by like, well, this is my job. I need to be informed of every piece of news, whether it's
We need to know
hard
what's going
news, whether
on.
it's lifestyle, whether it's gossip. It's part of the job.
Yeah, true that. See, mi gente, this is part of the job. We just got to do it.
It's
I
part of
know,
the
you know what I
job.
need
We
to
got to be
do
informed.
is every time I see something interesting, I just need to write it like in my notes app and just, to keep, because, this time I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened this month? And going and searching for stuff. But did you watch this 7-part series on TikTok?
I didn't watch the 7-part series, but I was watching all of the reaction videos on TikTok.
Okay, so let me kind of just condense it. And it's on you. The whole thing's on YouTube. It's only like 18 minutes. So it's not like it sounds, oh my gosh, 7 parts, but it's like you could just watch the whole thing on YouTube as well. So basically, it's talking about how Hailey Bieber had, some people say she had this 10-year plan to marry Justin Bieber, right? Started, and she used her familial connections, her friends, whatever she could use to be in his sphere, right? Starting from when she met him, her dad, Stephen Baldwin, the brother of Alec Baldwin and Billy Baldwin, that they were at the Today Show and he was performing, and there's even video of it of him introducing Justin Bieber to Hailey, then Hailey Baldwin, and then it shows like all these things how she's like they weren't together, he was still dating Selena, and like she's hovering in the background of a lot of photos. And you see her just like staring at him. It's kind of creepy, like, right? And then when she started modeling and became friends with the Kardashians, then she really used that, right? There was even one girl who said she was a super Bieber fan, a believer, I think that's what they call
Yes,
them.
yes, believer,
She's a
yes.
believer. And she always knew where he was and everything. And then she was showing like some tech, like she was like, this was some of my text with or DMs between her and Hailey. And I guess Hailey's like, well, where's he at? And like there was always something. She was flying all over the country. Selena got a G for her little sister Gracie on the back of her ear. 12 days later, Hailey Bieber has a G almost exactly the same at the back of her ear. Before Justin and Selena broke up for the last time, she apparently got a tattoo on her ring finger with J and a little star. And
No.
then they showed, yes, then they showed a ring that Justin had given Selena, and it looks almost exactly the same. All of the poses and they're showing like timestamps of all these things that Selena does before Hailey Bieber does it. Sometimes the same day, sometimes within a couple of weeks, she's posing a picture of the same thing. Interviews that Selena did and Hailey does afterwards. She's giving very eerily similar responses. Um, so when you take all of that together, and who knows? But that's what we're here, right? To talk about the chisme. Who the hell knows? But it does look really, really creepy. And then there's a next one saying now, and I guess now that Selena and Benny Blanco have come out with this new album, I think Justin Bieber had posted. I didn't catch up all the way to yesterday, but that's what I was like looking at. But anyway, so it's this like very weird, kind of creepy, single white female type of thing. And our people will get our generation will get the single white female reference, right? Like Selena does a pose and then Hailey does the same thing, wearing almost the exact, if not the similar, if not exact outfits. Um, you know, you have Rare Beauty coming out first. Now she has Road Beauty. Then you have um Selena did the Selena and Chef starting in 2020 through 2024. And then a few years later, Hailey Bieber starts a cooking show thing. And
Really? Where was her
yeah,
show?
I don't know. Apparently there's only like 5 or
Hmm.
6 episodes and that was it. Uh and so it's just like very weird. So they were saying like she wasn't really obsessed with Justin, she was really obsessed with Selena. And now
Hmm.
there's this thing that she's saying now she's globbing on to Sabrina Carpenter. So now they're showing things of that Sabrina Carpenter does. Now where that connection is, I honestly have no idea. But like what so with what you know of this whole thing, like what are your thoughts on it? Wine break. Time to refill that glass and come back for more wine
So
and
she
cheese.
always struck me as a little odd and like a little, I don't know, like does she have a personality? Like I feel like she always has this
I
like
don't know.
blank look
She
on
doesn't
her
look very, and
face.
again, we don't know her or anything, but she
Which of
doesn't
course, yes,
look,
obviously
she,
we don't know her,
she
but she doesn't
doesn't,
look very
yeah. When you
like
say she always like it's, I totally get what you're saying when you say that because it doesn't feel like she has her own personality, right?
there's just like
And
no like nothing behind like
the eyes,
the eyes. Right.
the eyes, totally. And it's so like crazy. Maybe it's because like when you come from a family like that,
Right. I mean,
maybe you would think like you have
Steven is
Irish.
also always the craziest.
Yeah,
He's
Steven
always been
is.
my favorite.
Yeah,
He's my favorite Baldwin, but he is
he's he's a Trump supporter.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to reevaluate some things.
Yeah,
Might
Steven
this might
he's
be the
full
end of me and
on.
Steven.
Yeah. I don't know. I always thought he was goofy looking. I wasn't ever. I mean, he was funny and like was the Polly when he was in that thing with that movie with Polly Shore.
Oh, what's the name of it? It'll come to me. But
Biodome, was that what it?
I
Is
think
that it?
so.
I think that's
I
what it was.
think so. But he's always been like, I don't know, like he doesn't even fit in with the other three.
Yeah, because
Like he's always been kind of his own.
I think he ended up being more of a character actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Billy Baldwin, he did some movies, and then I think I don't even know if he does anything anymore.
Right. I don't know what he's
But
been doing.
and then obviously Alec Baldwin was very much, and Billy Baldwin was very much a sex symbol in his heyday.
Mm-hmm.
Same with
Mm-hmm.
they have another Baldwin brother. I forget what his
Daniel.
name.
I think
Yeah,
Daniel's the oldest.
yeah. And Alec Baldwin, obviously, very much a sex symbol in his day and everything. And he's had some
Right.
challenges as of late, right?
Yeah,
But
and the show that they have now, the
oh my
reality show.
gosh. Okay, I have not. Have you watched it? I haven't watched it.
No,
The
no, I
Baldwins
refuse
on
on principle.
same. Well, from I've seen clips. I don't, did you see the interview that they did where she was like, "You need to stop talking now. You need to like."
No, but
They were
that's
getting
another one.
interviewed by Entertainment Tonight, and I don't know if she was just being like joking with him or not, but it was really uncomfortable to watch.
I don't know.
There's
She's a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Like,
Well, I mean, she went from Hillary Thomas something to Ilaria.
oh my
Went
god,
from uh what is this? How do you say in English? A cucumber, cucumber. You know,
that's
like
that's crazy. Like, it's not even funny. That's not even
no, and
funny.
that's the thing. And
That's a
look,
problem.
we know like we we already have our challenges with Spaniards and colonization and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but she can't like she straight out just lifted a personality that she
Yeah.
wanted to have. And everybody that she went to
Yes.
like there were so many people that were online and they're like, I went to school with her. She did not have an accent. She did not forget, things. And look, I get if and for those of you who don't know, let's rewind real quick.
I know we've gone off on a
We just
tangent.
there we go. Off on our tangents again. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Alec Baldwin is married to Hilaria Baldwin. Okay, Hillary Baldwin,
Hillary.
and she was a yoga instructor, right? And she at first apparently didn't want to go out with him, then decided she would, and they have like 20 million kids now.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, he would go on talk shows saying, "My wife is from Spain." And so, they had been on Hola magazine. I think they were in People in Espanol, like cover stories,
Yeah.
right? As if they're covering, you know, I hate using the word Latin or Hispanic. I'm going to say it because
Hispanic, yeah.
as if they're covering a Hispanic because we know that, we know all this. Um, and so, and she never was like, yes, she never indicated that she was anything other than a Hispanic woman, right? She let that she was on the Today Show, she was on other shows, and then would all of a sudden have this accent, or then she would say she would forget. Famously, I think it was on the Today Show or Rachel, or I don't know, it was on a cooking segment of some show, and she's doing things, and she's all of a sudden she has an accent, and she's talking, and she's like, um, and then you put some of these in. I forget the word. I forget the word. The pepinos, cucumbers, and people were like, okay, you forget it. But then something else happened. Like somebody, I don't know if it was from her high school or whatever, really like blew the whistle on her and was
Mm-hmm.
like, she's not from Spain. She's from Boston. Her name is Hillary Thomas. broth or something like that. And then she came out and's like, I never claimed to be Spanish. I just love the Spanish culture. We used to spend
Yes.
all summers there. And then I just saw
Oh my
something
God.
recently. So her dad became obsessed with Spanish culture because apparently he was on a train and he met a priest who was from Spain. And by the time he was done with that, he was obsessed and started learning Spanish and started, look, you want to learn another language. Nobody's ever gonna say
Right.
you shouldn't, or anybody with any actual smarts, right? Is gonna say no, you shouldn't learn another language. The problem lies when you and we've had this in so many different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you decide, like when you take on that trait as your own, right? Not just
Right.
a lover of
Right.
the culture, but as you are the culture, like that culture is your culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had it, and then you've had it with race, right? Like with Rachel Dolezal,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
Doziel, what, however the hell you say her name.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
You've had people who are light skinned who, what is that? There was that one girl from um Little Mix or Little Minx. Like when she was on that, they're a UK based girl group. And one of the girls was engaged to Zayn Malik for a while and then they broke up, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this like girl group, and then all of a sudden this one girl goes solo. I'm gonna have to pull it up. Well, this one girl goes solo, and all of a sudden she looks like she's black. She's totally blackfishing.
Oh my gosh.
um let me see if I can Little Minx. Okay, Jezzy Nelson. Go look her up. Go look at her images.
Well,
You're,
I need to look this up now
you need to look her up
too.
and tell me that is not a black woman. She's white, by the way. She's a white woman. And if you are able to, mi gente, you need to look uh at her stuff as well, and look at her before and after, while she was in Little Minx and now. Like apparently, so I'm looking at this, and this is from years ago. Um, there is an article in Teen Vogue that says Little Mix, it's Little Mix, not Little Mix, talked to Jesse Nelson about blackfishing years ago. And for those, I'm sure our audience knows what blackfishing is, but it's capitalizing on aspects of blackness without having to endure the daily realities of black experience, which is obviously problematic and harmful. So apparently they had a conversation with her. They said in the best way they knew how. They said that's not what they wanted. They wanted her to be herself, whatever. So have you looked her up?
Yeah, I see some like before and like now. Oh, okay. Here we go.
And now look at her.
Is this? Yeah.
And tell me that's, if you were to just see her with the big curls and the like darkened skin, tell me you wouldn't think that's a black woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So obviously there's, and people continue to do it, right? There was even people with the quote unquote, it's not Latina makeup trend, it was really a Chicana makeup trend, because we all do our makeup different. We're Latinas, but there's definitely a Chicana. And then there was this other girl on there who you look back at her videos and she is white as white could be. And then all of a sudden she's doing this Chicana makeup trend and everything. And people think she's Latina. And then they go back and they're like, she isn't. So this has obviously been a problem. It continues to be a problem
Yeah.
with people doing this type of thing. So Ilaria doing the same thing, or should I just call her Hillary? Hillary's doing the same thing.
I mean, she had me fooled until
Same.
the truth came out, and I was just like, oh, I knew there was something off with her.
The truth comes out, right?
I know. It's just I find it so bizarre how she like became like she was this person. Like that's not quote unquote normal. Like that's a problem. Like
Yeah.
that's a mental problem. Like I'm just gonna say it. That is a mental problem.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, it's yeah, I don't understand why people are just think like, oh yeah, we're totally fine. That's totally okay. Or think that they're not like that's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
come out because
Yeah.
hello, in these times,
Mm-hmm.
all of that comes out, right? So if I got like crazy famous or whatever, and people are like, is this who she is? Oh yeah, people could go to people I knew in elementary school and they'd be like, yes, she talks a lot. We know. She's always been like that. Yeah, she likes to laugh. She's always been like it would just, but who's gonna fully change like who they are? I don't know. That's just look at that just and
I
now
know we
and
went off on another.
well, it went from that. We were still talking within we went from Selena Benny to the Beavers to the Baldwins. So I guess it all uh kind of ties in, right? And then we have this month, we had more Kanye craziness.
Oh God, what's going on? Because honestly, I've taken Kanye out of my purview. Like,
So, okay, I haven't found anything that I would really want to like truly deep dive on. That's my goal for this next for April is to find something that I really would want to deep dive on, send you the topic and both of us do our thing and just talk about like something just really deep into it. But so I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently he's been seen with another woman. Apparently him and his wife Bianca are on the rocks, especially particularly after the Grammys
I
incident.
mean, I
If
feel
you
like
don't
that would
know,
be.
like here you have this man who would literally go on and look, I'm not a fan of the Kardashians. They do the same thing. They're culture vultures. They have built their brands off of other women, the Kylie Jenner cosmetic stuff. Like she has totally like copied other smaller makeup brands in regards to packaging and different things and we all know that Kim has been very problematic in things that she's done, um including like saying somebody in Texas is on that they were I think on death row or something and they're not on death row. She's like she got the name wrong and I'm like, girl,
Mm-hmm,
you trying
mm-hmm.
to be a lawyer, but are you really trying to be a lawyer? Like I don't, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I don't follow any of them on social media. So apparently, if you don't know, Kanye West, some say he crashed the red carpet, some say he didn't. So let's just say right now he crashed the red carpet with his wife, who's wearing like this big black fur coat. Then you see them talking, and I guess they're like, should I do it? Do it now, blah, blah, blah. And she starts taking off her coat and technically she is wearing a dress.
Right. Yes. Technically, yes.
Technically she is wearing a dress, but the dress she is wearing is completely see-through. Like it's basically like if you're wearing pantyhose but it wasn't even that covered. If you
Right.
like,
Right.
pantyhose would give more coverage than what she was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so I ironic that you have somebody like Kanye who went on the Kardashians and was like, I need my wife to be more modest and blah blah blah. Like they had this
Mm-hmm.
argument in
Mm-hmm.
front of the cameras where she's like, you're the one who built me up to be sexy like this, and now you're telling me we're on different paths now. Like constantly exposing his wife, constantly posting things on social media where
It's so
she is
bizarre.
naked or half naked or barely showing anything. She goes out in public, will have a teddy bear in front of her because there's like she's not wearing anything or Like it's just nuts. And he this last week was, I guess, he dropped a song with him, with Northwest, their oldest daughter, and Diddy.
And Diddy, oh yeah, that's a problem in itself.
Right? And so, like, apparently when Northwest was born, Kim Kardashian, she made sure they trademarked Northwest's name to make sure that it gets used properly in future things or forever. So she owns the trademark, just Kim. Okay. And she didn't want Kanye releasing the song with Northwest and Diddy. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't either. I'd be like,
Right,
hell no. He released it anyway.
right, of course.
And then goes obviously on this rant of, I was supposed to be part of this, da 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 da. Like, you just Kanye being Kanye now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just these crazy, I mean, again, these crazy things that he says. And then he's now being shown in public with like another woman that's not his wife. But again, they all look the same, right? Like Bianca looks like Kim,
Right.
and this new girl looks like both of them.
It's so like have no words to describe it. Like I do like Kanye's music,
I don't
but
like his new music. I haven't liked any of his music in a long time.
he's off the deep end. Like I feel like at
Girl,
this point that overshadows his work.
absolutely, absolutely. And then I was talking to somebody yesterday actually, and I don't even remember how this got brought up. And I had seen several things. I think he said, I wonder if he said something else, because I've seen a lot of things like on TikTok and stuff. So TikTok, okay, let me just TikTok is like the fun thing, right? The fun thing. I just like you doom scroll. I will do that on Instagram, but Instagram, I feel like I mean, I do feel like I learned stuff on TikTok with the news people and people who really get into
Mm-hmm.
certain things, but also it's just more mindless for me as well. But people were like, what, he's turned into a Nazi and stuff. And I said, how did he turn from George Bush hates black people to
Right,
I hate black people?
right.
How did it happen?
It was, and even then when he said that, it was just like, oh, okay. And then now
I
it's
re-
like,
I remember when he said
how
that,
did
and people were
you?
like, "Damn! Oh, look at what he said. He called him asshole." Like people were like rooting for him when he said that.
And then now it's like the opposite. Like it's, I don't know, it's so bizarre because it's not that, oh, he changed his opinion on this or his position on that. It's just the calling out and then the 180 to like the other side of the spectrum. Like, what is going on in that brain?
Yeah. I don't know. God, I would not want to, I wouldn't even want to get in that brain, because I feel like
God,
I would be
no.
traumatized for the rest of my life.
God, no. I feel like that is one of those like elevated horror movies being trapped in Kanye's brain.
Right? Yeah, that's just totally nuts. Let's go to something a little bit more. And I don't, so we know the Honest Company. And Jessica Alba just recently stepped down as CEO. And we there is in the new CEO is an Afro Latina named Carla Vernon. And I guess she's been the CEO since 2023. However, um, she replaced this dude, Nick Valos, whatever. Obviously, like I said, Jessica Alba stepped back, but so now this really kind of brings her, like, elevates her even more. So we just want to say, um, we love that. We love seeing a beautiful bad boss another Latina, Afro Latina CEO,
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
freaking taking the reins of a major, major company
Yeah.
and
I mean,
now trying to elevate it to the next level.
how long has she had that company? Over 10 years, right?
Yeah, so according to this, and I was looking at this, and it's on People en Español and People Chica. So it's the she says they're launching new era of leadership. So she's been with the company for a while, just recently, like, is completely taking the reins. Um, and let's see, I'm just looking at this. What was your question again? I'm sorry.
No, just the honest company. It's been around for more than 10 years at this point, right?
Oh yeah,
Been
for
more than
sure.
that.
I think so. But we love seeing it. And you know what? On that note, I want to just give a call out to Ana Flores and Vanessa Santos. And we all grow amigas because a particular chapter has come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's no longer its own independent company. A nonprofit out of Chicago is going to be running it. And that's because We All Grow was they were getting money from the Fearless Female Fund, I think. And for those of you who don't know, there has been a gentleman, and okay, his name is Edward Bloom. He is a conservative activist. He's founder of the American Alliance for Equal Rights. They have been they He has kind of been the spearheader of suing all of these organizations, suing anybody who
Oh,
has
yeah, him.
DEI programs, anybody who gives grants and grants that are specifically for women, people of color, anything like that. He has been trying. So he sued with everything. So um and that affects real companies, companies that were supposed to get these grants, companies that are really trying to elevate our community. And it I'm really sad about that because We All Grow Latina has been such an amazing organization.
Yep.
Truly, if it was not for them, I don't know if I would have gotten through 2020 and 2021. Um, because I am such a social person. And when you are such an extrovert and you can't be around anybody, so they started with office hours and all of these just truly free programs, right? Um, and they would have summits and they would have, amigas in business, and they were constantly like reaching out to the community for so you can learn to be more financially savvy, so you're hearing from all of these amigas from across the diaspora, right, in regards to their journeys and how to just holistically be your better self. And they haven't shut their doors, but the company has been sold to a nonprofit out of Chicago who's going to be running it,
Mm-hmm.
which fundamentally changes the thing. So I'm
Right.
hoping, I don't know how it's going to once it's officially passed off and everything, how that's going to work. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Anna and Vanessa because they have been truly amazing, as it has all of the We All Grow Latina team that we have worked with and that I have had the pleasure and honor to know for these several years. And I have made so many truly amazing friends, true amigas, through our amigahood. And, we're continuing on in regards to helping each other out, having each other's numbers, supporting each other on social, getting on calls and everything. But the reason I want to bring that up is because we are in a very precarious situation right now. Uh, even people who have legal status are being threatened with
Right. Right.
deportation. So we're not going anywhere. So we're gonna continue to elevate. We're gonna continue to elevate wines, brands, people that align with our values. And this is an independent, self-funded podcast, so nobody could shut us down.
Yep.
So si se puede. No. Hey, I mean, Cesar Chavez Day is coming up. So, that is I'm now in like that family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was actually showing my mother-in-law this thing I put together that I'm going to post on Cesar Chavez Day that says like when your husband's Tia and Theo were Cesar and Helen Chavez, and like all of the Cesar Chavez stuff that's around. Like I even now have, because my mother-in-law is on the board of the Cesar Chavez Foundation. Now I even have a jacket, a Cesar Chavez Foundation jacket. Um, we have like all these things. When the movie came out, years ago, Antonio has a thing from the movie premiere that his Tia Helen wrote on, like signed for him.
Right.
All of these flags and portraits of Caesar and all of these things like around the house and all of these things. So it's she was like, "Oh, I love that. That's so great." But yeah, so we're still gonna be here. We're still gonna be, doing the chisme, doing all of the things.
Yep.
And then we also is there anything that's happened that you wanted, like I just threw this together really quick. I know we didn't, like normally we talk about like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? We didn't do that this
Right.
time. So because like I said, I was doing this last minute. Bad, Jessica. Bad. What else has gone on that you wanted to share?
Well, there's that one item that we had on the list that we did not talk about.
Oh my gosh, how did I what a way to
A very
end.
big one.
What a way to end the Calvin Klein ad featuring Bad Bunny.
Yes. Oh, girl.
Ooh,
When that dropped, I was just like, what is going on?
girl, I'm
What
like,
is this?
okay, all right, we
Who
see
is
you.
this? Where did this all come
He said,
from?
I'm Bad Bunny. So what?
I was like, sir, where did it all come from?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what it makes me wonder though? Do they put something in their shorts, in their
They probably do.
because it's like, okay, a man in his underwear is not that perfectly bulged.
Right. Well, I'm sure it's style.
Yeah. But that's a pretty big bulge.
But I was like, where did this booty come from? Because my sister kept on talking about, oh my God, like, do you think it's like, is what is going on? I was like, I am focused elsewhere. Where did that come from? That,
But he doesn't ever wear like tight stuff, so it's not
like,
really see it, right?
I was like, well,
Did they give
sir.
him more of a booty?
And it was very nice looking booty.
I mean, I might have to get Antonio some Calvin Klein
I think
just
you might
to.
have to rewatch the ad and take some notes
I will rewrite. You know
for
why?
research
Yeah, I was
purposes.
about to say because it's my job.
It's our job,
It's
okay?
our
Somebody has
job.
to do it.
Yeah. Oh shucks. I guess I'm gonna have. We're gonna have to be the ones. I mean, what are we gonna say? I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh. I think it was just it, I think he was a surprising option. I didn't have that on my radar at all, but it was a good one. Whoever came
Yeah.
up with that idea needs a raise.
Look, also now that him and Kendall Jenner aren't together anymore,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the fans definitely came flooding back because people were
Yes.
not having
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So with that, do you think that was a I mean, I know we talked about it before, but now like that it's
Mm-hmm.
truly seemingly past, do you think
Right.
that was a real relationship?
I think it was a situation that developed into something else, and then it was kind of
My
developing
thing
into.
is, how
I
did
don't
that
know what
even
it is,
happen?
but
How did they even connect?
I don't think it was because people are like, oh, it was a PR stunt, but I just don't think that. Knowing, like, just knowing what I know about communications, like, there's just no need for that. He was killing it at that time. And I
Yeah.
remember even reading an interview about his publicist, that Latina, and her name is escaping me right now. I know I follow her on Instagram too. And I'm just like, as a publicist, I would be like, absolutely not. We're not doing this.
I
I
was
worked too hard.
right.
I
I
worked too hard to blow this up. Like, no.
I don't know what it was on his end, but I do think it was PR from her end for sure.
Yes, from her end, yes.
For sure. I
From
think
her
it was
end,
PR
yes.
because, well, there's a couple of things. Obviously, for years and years, the Kardashians were dating black men and
Mm-hmm.
using that as their cover, right? And
Right.
most of them have, I think, with the exception of Courtney and
Mm-hmm.
Kendall, who doesn't have any kids, they all have black baby daddies,
Right.
right? And um and then obvious so I think that's what they were striving for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got that they are all no longer with their partners. And
Right.
I with the so Courtney got married obviously to Travis Barker, which, oh my gosh, the controversy surrounding his daughter with Shayna Moakler. Holy
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
ay, ay, ay. We see, we bring
That's
it to you
another
guys and all of the
one.
cheese. Oh my gosh, yes, because she
That's another one.
just
I totally forgot about that.
oh my, it's this Bad Baby. So if you don't know who Bad Baby is, that's the Catch Me Outside girl. Catch Me Outside. How you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right now she goes by Bad Baby. Went from Bad Bunny to Bad Baby. Um, and I guess her and Alabama Barker, who is the daughter of Travis Barker and Shayna Moakler, who Shayna Moakler
Mm-hmm.
is the former fiance of Oscar De La Hoya. Let's just go,
Right.
yeah, let's go
I
down
know
the
that's like
things,
a
right?
whole. Oh yeah, yeah.
And she developed really early, beautiful girl and everything. But first,
Mm-hmm.
first, why do all these girls, do you notice that everybody looks the fucking same now?
Yes.
I'm so over it. Even celebrities that have always looked a little different and you like them for that. And they're like, this is an era that the Kardashians definitely ruled in because they got such a response, because they were getting such high ratings and so many people were starting
Mm-hmm.
to look up
Mm-hmm.
to them. Like, then everybody else in Hollywood followed, right? So now they're done with, they've gotten what they wanted from the black community and stealing stuff from. Then Kylie and Kendall were doing this like Latina thing for a minute. I don't know if you realize that. Like they were doing this Latina aesthetic and wearing certain things, and like you're just like not even Latina, more of
Mm.
like a Chicana aesthetic, right?
Okay.
So now they're all starting to date white boys, right? So you have Kim, who
Right.
initially she started dating white boys. She was dating Pete Davis. I think she went out with a couple other white guys. And then you haven't really seen Courtney. I mean, Chloe date
Chloe.
anybody.
Right.
I think she just wants to be a mom. But I know she said some pretty questionable things recently, but whatever. And then you have Kylie, who was, with Tyga, and then she was with Travis Scott, and now she's with Timothy Chalamet.
I know. Like where I don't know where that came from.
I think she's with him. I don't know if they truly like are have feelings for one another or whatever. There was one point like when you see pictures, she's trying to kiss him when they're at a tennis match, and she's looking straight at a camera taking photos of her when she's trying to get a
Mm.
kiss from Shalome.
But I feel like again, like it's more of a calculated move on these women's side
Absolutely.
because again, Timothy Chalamet does not need extra publicity. He's doing just fine. He's not even just fine. He's doing more than okay. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't need it. Like so that's why I find it so bizarre.
I know. And it just makes me so weird. But like I said, like you it's just so weird. I think they look odd together. Just my personal opinion. I think they look odd together. It just seems weird and
Mm-hmm.
off. But, again, now they're trying to, it feels like, because I don't know them, it feels like they got what they wanted from the community that they wanted to get it from. And
Mm-hmm.
now, like, this is truly like blackfishing, right? They got it. They got that attention. They all had the most ginormous asses for a minute. BBLs were on the rise, trying to emulate
Mm-hmm.
them. And now all of a sudden, their booties are not as big.
Right, right.
Like, all of a sudden, I'm sorry, but that's not just from exercise. Like, you went from having, and I have a big butt. You went from having like three of my butts to now having my butt, right? And so and it just feels like they're now they because they want to be part of mainstream. They just don't want to be in like it felt like they were trying so hard to be in black culture
Mm-hmm.
with their men and with the things that they were doing and wearing and put the things that they were putting out, right?
Right.
Now they want to be quote unquote like acceptable ladies. So in order to do that, they had to go to white men, which is such bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anyways, like to think that again, I don't know if this is what they think. This is just what it feels like to
It's
me.
all speculation.
All allegedly.
It's
Allegedly.
all allegedly. These are
But
just
that's what it feels
observances.
like. Yeah, it just feels like they wanted so long to be accepted into this cult, into black culture. And then they got everything they could squeeze out of black culture. And
Mm-hmm.
now they're like, okay, now we have all this money. So let's go back to being, when Kendall and Kylie, they're just white. They're not Armenian.
Right. Then they feel like that's like such a disconnect too, because they're not Kardashians either. They're
No,
Jenners.
they're
Like,
Jenners. Yeah.
which is, it's all very confusing
And
because when you say Kardashians, like they're included in the group,
yeah. But
but they're
also,
not.
it's so dangerous for young women because remember when Kylie got her lip injections and she was refuting it.
Mm-hmm.
I just overlined my lips. I just overlined. And then finally she said, yes, she got lip injections.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said she was removing them. She did not remove them. Look at her lips before. Look at while she at her peak of injections and now. She still has lip fillers, lip injections, whatever. Maybe not as much as she did a couple years ago, but she still
Mm-hmm.
has it because she did not have a top lip before.
Right.
She
She just
got it.
had a straight line.
Yeah, it was just a straight line, which is fine if that's what you want to do to like make yourself feel good, but don't lie about it. And then she said for the longest time that was all she had done. Then over the last year or two, she said, "Oh, well, I got breast implants too."
So yes, we knew that. Thank
Duh.
you.
And we think, and you obviously had a BBL.
And it was done head to toe. She looks like a completely
Totally.
different person.
Totally. Because if you, again, and I get when you grow up, your body
Mm-hmm.
changes.
Right.
Totally. Your body changes. You feel, girl, I was a size B cup until I was 19. And all of a sudden at 19, I went from a B to a double D. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Okay, I'm gonna take this. Or I was a C. I went from a B to a C, right? So there was and then I went from a C to a double D. But it wasn't literally, oh, it was not overnight. And it was I was just as shocked as anybody else. I was like, what happened
But
here?
it's like
Okay.
for more or less, I look the same. Like my face
Yeah.
is the same, my body shape is kind of the same. Like, but she is like a completely different person.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, if you want to have these procedures done, fine, okay. My only, I guess, concern is that she had them so young.
Yes.
And I don't think that people should be having those kind of surgeries until you're fully developed because it's your body change. It's weird. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go get my wisdom teeth pulled. This is like a legit procedure.
Yeah. Well,
And so many things can go wrong.
not only was she not fully developed when she started having these things, and then by the time she was 20, she got pregnant. So your body's going to change even more.
Right.
So like, but then the sad thing is like I said, it caught up all with Hollywood. So now all these people look the same. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody looks like a fucking Kardashian, which I'm so like I loved the way you looked. I loved the way like, and it is so mind-boggling. And then you have nobody ever admits to doing these procedures. So you have the
Mm-hmm.
regular general public like ourselves, and especially young kids. But it doesn't matter if you're young or not, because
Right.
then you're like, wait, am I not good enough? Do I need to do? I mean, I will say for me, and you tell me for you. I've always had pretty long eyelashes and they're curly already. I don't need to use a curly. Then
Mm-hmm.
everybody started getting eyelash extensions. And then everybody started, and I had, these are my lips,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my smile has always been something that I've been proud of and that I like. And then people started getting lip injections. And so there have definitely been moments, me, even in my
Mm-hmm.
40s, where I'm like, do wait, do I need to start doing stuff? Do I need to get eyelash extensions? Do I need to like get, do my lips need to be bigger? Do I need to
Mm-hmm.
like, and, and I've had those moments. Even like I said, even in my 40s, because you have all of these people, everybody's, and it feels like, well, now am I the ugly duckling? Like all these people are doing all these things, and I've always been so proud of them being like,
Mm-hmm.
of me having natural things. I say I have T A and B. I have tab, titties, ass, and belly. and and then all of a sudden you start questioning yourself. So have you ever like, has that ever come a wash on you or what?
So growing up, I was always very self-conscious of my booty. So I always had a really big booty.
You got a big, your booty's bigger than mine.
And I was,
But it's
always,
amazing.
I was always self-conscious about it because it was like when I wore my jeans, like it didn't fit right because I had a small waist and big booty, big hips. And then with skirts, like it would be such a great length in the front, and then in the back, it's like, oh my god,
Yes. You're like,
borderline
am I gonna flash
inappropriate.
people?
But then, so I was always self conscious about that. It was, oh my god, it was always such a problem for me. And then I got kind of angry because I was just like, all right, well now everyone has these like ridiculously big booties, and I spent so much time upset about it. And now I have like a small booty compared to people out there. So I had that experience going.
That's March. That's March, baby.
I know we bounced around so much.
Okay, we always do that. I think people are used to it by now. But
I know.
you know, mi gente, I'm just gonna reiterate. I know the people who listen are just such amazing, beautiful people. If you need to do a procedure to make yourself feel better, nobody's or from this end, you will not get knocked. You need to do what makes you feel beautiful
Yeah.
and the best version of you. But please don't do it because you see everybody else doing it. If there's people in
Right.
their, I don't like, I know we get people sometimes in their 20s and early 30s look, listening. I feel like women our age, we already know what we like and we don't like, and we're living with it or we're going to change it. Who cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not, or if you're questioning, I would just say, like, just make sure you know why you're doing it. Just make sure if you want to have a procedure done that you're not doing it to look like everybody else, because you are amazing and you are beautiful the way you are. And you know what? If you're not exterior, like if you don't like what you see on the exterior, that's fine. You can change it. But just don't, like I said, I've had those thoughts. Just don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Just don't do it because um nobody else can see the beauty of who you are. So that's how, I guess, how we'll end it. Anything else, Erika?
No, that's it. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about our boy before we signed off.
And if you haven't seen it, mi gente, go check out that Bad Bunny Calvin Klein ad right now.
Yeah. Or if you need a reminder, if you need a refresher,
You
just
need
to
a
remember,
refresher.
you know.
Who can I mean, we all need a refresher. I think that we all need to go check out.
I might go grab my phone and just take another look at it right now.
I think so. Sorry guys, we got to end this so me and Erica could go drool on our computers.
Yep.
Until next time.
Bye.
Hola, mi gente. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wine and Chisme podcast. If you would like to hear more wine and more chisme, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Saludos.